We are live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Screams of the Sun, the Changing Breeds Chronicle we are running here on Final Show Films. I am Julia, the Zodiac System, and I will be your storyteller for the evening. We're joined by a wonderful cast of role players. They let me mentally and emotionally abuse them at least once a week, and we like to film that so you all can see. And we will start our introductions tonight with, if there's a wrong way to do something, rest assured I'll find it. Jeremy?
I mean, you're not wrong. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Crystal Arias, who is a Hamid Nuisha.
And I wake up every morning with the joy and excitement of wanting to go directly back to sleep. Siobhan?
Excuse me. I wake up for like 20 minutes and then I lay back down. I am Siobhan, she, they, and I am playing Clover, who is a Korax Sun Lost.
I want to kill the sexiest person alive, but suicide is a crime. Katie?
Oh, you're so sweet. And trying to make up for last week.
Yes. Damn it, she remembered.
I never forget.
You're a mother, I believe that.
Hi, I'm Katie. I play Carrie Nichols, who is a Korax Hamid, Hermetic Order of Swift Light.
And I didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose me and promptly returned me. Shawnee or William?
You have no idea how accurate that is. Hi, I'm Johnny or William, and I'm playing Callisto Osborne, the Hamid Gural Usmani.
And unfortunately, Drevian, our Coelacanth Bastet, will not be here this week. We hope that they are able to join us next week. As always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, believe women, believe victims, eat the rich. Trump didn't actually work at a McDonald's. It was all staged. Fuck Vince McMahon and anyone else that Jeremy decides to throw onto the shit list because he's more in with current events than I am.
Who do we have? Who do we have today? I could literally probably just say today as opposed to since the last time. Oh shit. Yeah, I got nothing at the moment. Just people in general.
Go vote.
Just all people.
Yes.
Vote for the love of God.
Early voting is starting.
For the love of whatever.
Do it.
We're 2.5 weeks away at this point, I think
so. Something like that.
Yeah.
About that. Almost basically 2.
Yes. But remember, yes.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Early voting is active in some states, so check your local information about that. And if you can, early vote, go and early vote.
I'd like to once again express my appreciation that I live in a state where it's 100% mail voting.
Damn. That's
everybody votes by mail.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Everything's just
I mean, unfortunately, my early voting location wasn't that much of a problem, aside from the fact that I apparently got there the one day they were doing a Halloween festival, so parking was a nightmare.
Where did you go?
What's the hell? It's the one that Georgia pointed me towards.
Is it the one in the voter registration place in Lawrenceville?
No, it was like over in Buford, I want to say.
Really? It told you the closest place was Buford?
It told me the closest place that was doing early voting. So.
Oh, okay. There's one like right around the corner from my house.
Yeah, Bogan Park Community Recreation Center over in on Bogan Road in Buford.
Yeah. Yeah, the library closest to my house is doing it, so for the first time in forever. So I'm going Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there was one in Lawrenceville. Apparently, it just puts them in whatever order it feels like. So I just went to the first one on the list.
Well, you voted, and that's what's important.
I voted, yes.
Proud of you.
If I had the sticker that said you did the thing, I would give it to you.
I already did, and I threw it away because it does not last long.
No.
Julia, you should have a dry erase board behind you and do a good noodle board whenever we do something good and put gold stars up for us, please.
Oh, that's one. That's when we can say fuck you to Undertaker.
Oh no.
Okay. What did
Undertaker
Undertaker do?
He's been called by a good portion of the wrestling community Mega Taker for a while.
Mm.
But publicly endorsing the shitbag is yeah.
Now. That's an offense to shit. Shit is actually useful.
Yeah, we use it for fertilizer.
You can shine shit.
There are certain jokes I should not make right now because the Secret Service will come to my door.
I am so glad I wasn't the only one.
I know. I had the same thought, but I didn't say it out loud.
I said, I'm with you. I'm with you. Just imagine it in your head.
Yes. Oh, I said it loud in my head.
Speaking of imagining it in your head, so in the last episode, Clover and Percy delved into the findings that they, along with the alter Alice, had uncovered. They examined images of changelings and newspaper articles detailing troubling accounts of shifters hinting at the existence of two lost tribes potentially being seen again within these beings. The following day, the team gathered at Callisto's cabin to strategize their next move. There, they met Ringtail, who informed them that they had been labeled as both a menagerie and now a pack, indicating that they would eventually need to choose a name, making a first for any group in this time slot. A brief conversation arose regarding the generational trauma that manifests as nightmares for Callisto. Clover received a message from Icebreaker inviting her to meet him at the Sept of the Towering Giants. Most of the group then piled into the Bitchmobile while Callisto and Clover took Callisto's truck, allowing them a moment of privacy to strengthen their connection. Upon reaching the Sept, the group was welcomed by Guardians Bridgebreaker and Twin Rivers, the latter guiding them to Icebreaker and his pack. They raised questions about potential mining interests in the area, but the discussion was interrupted by Blackblood, a member of the pack whose ancestor had been killed by Callisto's forebear. I just realized the pun there. Anyone, or
I'm only one
Let me
here.
restart.
Thank you.
Ancestor was killed by
Forebear?
Callisto's
No.
forebear, who noticed the fang dagger at Callisto's side. Connor skillfully diffused the tension of the situation with his social demeanor, with Crystal on deck for support in the endeavor. The group's focus then shifted to a majestic white and gray wolf revealed to be Doom of the Mountains, the Sept leader, who addressed them with the following sentence of, "What the fuck are two ravens, a coyote, a cat, and a bear doing in my woods?" Which is where we will be picking up tonight. As that
Somebody
question
better say
hangs in the
because-
air.
Somebody said better say something quick because Crystal is about to open her mouth.
The thing that Callisto had said, and I will remind for the spirit sensitive member of our audience of our pack that Callisto is currently surrounded by spirits of her ancestors. And the thing that Callisto had said, still in her very like done with everyone shit voice. Our jobs.
We're making friends.
We respectfully are coming to provide information and hopefully gain some information in return for the betterment of all of us.
Coming up with the best possible joke to walk into a bar type situation.
Carrie's gonna look at Crystal. I said that went through my mind too. However, time and place.
Here and now.
Do we want a joke? I know several.
I you know what? Maybe after we
Do you know
Take-
what kind of pants open vehicles in the city of Boston?
Oh,
Khakis.
please.
Make a roll real quick. The There is just the briefest hint of a smile tugging up the corner of his lip.
Jeremy wants to put his head through the desk. Crystal is laughing.
I am a friend of Icebreakers, and we came across some information that was concerning, and we wanted to bring it to your attention.
His eyes flick to Icebreaker, who immediately turns to look anywhere else.
I have friends. Some friends are not so happy. And Icebreaker helped me figure out how to drown out the ones that weren't happy until I could make them happy.
What you're saying is that Icebreaker helped you with
I think you call
spirits.
them spirits, yes.
I'm here for the open bar.
Clover reaches into her bag of holding and pulls out a liquor baby of Fireball and hands it to you.
Thank you.
His eyes stay on Icebreaker. It makes sense that you would want to share information and keep peace. Fine.
That is the most disapproving good job I've ever heard.
I genuinely have your best interest at heart. I'm learning very quickly that I don't have a lot of preconceived notions that most people have. And I did not realize I wasn't supposed to be friends with the friends I have until very recently.
Do you care to elaborate on that one?
She doesn't
I
need to.
I didn't know that Guru and things like me were supposed to not like each other.
We're standing
No,
right here.
we're supposed to like each other.
That was what I thought. I try to make my decisions based person to person, then things as a monolith. I do a lot of studies on people, and I think there's a lot to account for human error, but also human or Farah success.
Clover, you are too good for this world.
He just again makes eye contact with Icebreaker, and he makes a motion with his hand that none of you really recognize. And Icebreaker walks away for a minute and then comes back with a tree stump and just sets it down. And Doom of the Mountains sits. You have information and you want to share it in case we have information that will improve your endeavors. What is it you come bearing?
Clover looks around like, oh no, am I the one talking? Okay.
Carrie's going to take over. So I've got a very sticky cough drop in my mouth.
Just as a reminder, because this was expressed beforehand, we are keeping most of the details about Entron off the table.
Have notes. We are leaving Endron out of the combo, looking into potential threats to Cairn sites. And we have the lie of, we are calling it Epiroc Mining Company. And we're saying it seems Epiroc is looking into mining concerning areas.
Yeah.
That.
So Carrie is
Now, what happens from there is up to everybody individually. I just want to make sure everybody had
Yeah.
that.
we recently came across some information from a company called Epiroc, a mining company. And a lot of their current and future planned digging sites almost exactly coincide with it's cairns, right?
Cameras.
With locations of cairns. And since Clover had a connection to Icebreaker, we wanted to reach out and pass along the information if you had not already heard it. And if you have, and we want to know if you have heard of any other such um,
Bits.
events that are similar that we should know about that may further help us bring awareness to this.
What's the hot goss on the worm as of late?
Everybody can give me a wits and empathy difficulty. Call it 8. None of you know this person, so.
Um, 8.
Good
Oh.
job, Clover.
That was a botch. Ooh.
3. As usual, there is one roll that I am traditionally good, that the dice traditionally forget that I'm cursed at in this game.
Yeah, wits and empathy specifically.
Yep.
Callisto, this guy is an unreadable rock.
I'm also not trying that hard to read it right now.
Exactly. You're still fucking tired.
I'm fucking tired. And her focus, like, only ever stays on Doom of the Mountains for about a half second, for like a half a minute, before something in the back of her mind twitches her attention back to Black Blood.
Who in concert is doing basically the same thing. Clover, this man is extremely happy for this news. You're not sure why? But
He's
that's what
happy
you're
we're
getting.
bringing it to him. I see a Doom of the Mountain approves up in the corner of the screen.
In Callisto's case, the changing attention is at least not entirely voluntary on her part.
True. Carrie. You don't often see ears perk up on a human form, so seeing that actively happen with someone as his head sort of twitches and just like stares harder at you as you bring up the mining issues. Crystal.
Yep.
This man is extremely unnerved. This man is concerned. He's doing very well at hiding it. Especially, you're used to picking out these things. You're a drug dealer. You're used to spotting the problem in the area.
Right.
So reading people is good. And he seems extremely nervous about the direction this conversation is taking.
I'm keeping that to myself for the moment.
I do know of a few sites in the area that they may potentially want to involve themselves with. I assure you understand Sept secrets.
Of course.
We didn't need to know the locations. We just wanted to bring the information to your attention so you could then do your circling of the wagons.
I mean, I want to know the locations, but we as a whole don't. So is this one of those, like, we have something old and powerful buried somewhere secrets? Or is this one of those, there's some things we don't want other people to know secrets because it's something bad? Or both. It could be both. Because right now, what I'm getting is this is not happy days for you.
You see his eyes flick. The pack has not left. They're
Right.
all still here. But you see his eyes flick to Doom's howl. I'm. You will forgive me in my old age that some of the memories here are starting to fray. This is not what you saw first was my true form.
I
So
fair.
as I'm
Respect.
getting older, things are Doom's Howl, would you please tell the story of the Oathbreaker? And none of you need to roll for this as you all turn to look at Doom's Howl. The smile that they generally have on their face just dies. And he looks down at his hands for a second. I'm not going to go into details about all of it. We had a
That's
sept
fine.
leader several decades ago that unfortunately turned and fell to the Black Spirals without any of us knowing, mind you, which was awful. And there is a lake at the base of Pyramid Peak. And underneath it, there is something that the Oathbreaker, whose true deed names and regular name will no longer be spoken amongst our sept, sealed there. It's been 50 years. Not many people who were here for that time still walk in this cairn. But there is a seal holding something underneath that lake. And I don't honestly know the scope. We don't know how big of a bane it is. We don't know how. But he summoned something and sealed it there for when he was ready to complete his plans.
But you know
He
it's
was
something of the
stopped.
pattern breaker.
Yes.
Who does know?
Ice Cap. One of the only. I think there's two or three kinfolk that are still around from that, but the only true Garu who were alive is Ice Cap. It might be hard for you to talk to them. They are in and out of cognizance in their older age. And you see him. He stops and then looks to Doom of the Mountain, who just gives a small nod, and he turns to your group, gives a slight like pressing the hands together,
Right.
and then runs off.
I'm gonna say something. Make a suggestion, and I'm sure this is gonna go over as well as I think it's gonna go over. But if Ice Cap is not potentially the easiest person to get this information from,
Mhm.
do you still have the same sept totem that you did then?
Yes, it's never left.
Could we have a chat with them?
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
There's a few moments of sort of awkward and tension-filled silence as Doomshowl walks back with a very old woman. Long white hair, braided almost to her feet. She is walking with a cane, missing her left arm from the elbow, and has a face just pockmarked with scars and wounds that have long since healed, but have still scarred the face. One eye is dead and just kind of drifting around in its socket. She turns to the group. You see her take a sniff at the air, take a slight step back as she makes eye contact with a few of you. And there's just the gentlest hand on her shoulder from Doomshowl. They're friends.
Clover waves.
She walks over and Doom of the Mountains moves over to give her a seat on the stump. Well, you've come to talk about the Oathbreaker then.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Can you tell us anything that you remember, please?
When the Oathbreaker had decided that it was time to enact their plan, they were not quiet about it when it went off. I am one of several who were young pups at the time who ended up shackled and bound in the Umbra for a period of time as to not interfere with anything. There's a large and ancient bane buried underneath that lake. I don't know what it is. I don't know its properties, but what I do know is that for 10 days after sealing, that water was black. And nothing grew around it. The fact that there are still fish swimming in it is an amazing feat of strength. It was undrinkable. Came up like tar and poison. And when Oathbreaker had affected one of the large areas of natural water in the area, then, and only then, did he set about attempting to dismantle this cairn from the inside. He didn't start by killing pups. That's why we were thrown away for a while. He started with dissenters, people who spoke out against the worm actively, which drew the eye and mire of several different members of the Sept. Of course, well, why would anybody not point out that we're not fighting against the enemy? And those days were much harder. Communication was down and much worse, but that seal took 10 members of this cairn. 10 members of this sept. Their lives, their energy, their devotion to Gaia, and manipulated them into keys to lock away whatever is down there. Metaphorical, physical, whatever. They're not actual keys anywhere, and the descendants of them or any family members of them obviously are going to be tainted by whatever was done. But there are 10 locks underneath there. And if anyone wants to unlock the Bane down there, it would take a massive amount of sacrifice.
Sacrifice of what specifically, hun?
If I had to guess, lives, souls, energies, spirits.
Would you
It's not a
get
sacrifice when they see you as the enemy.
that's not necessarily true? If you had to guess, would just shut up, Siri. Would just human spirits do, or are we gonna need something a little stronger? Spirits do. Or is it gonna have to be folks like you and all of us?
The 10 that were taken were shifters. Or were wolves. I don't know if that's a hard set line and rule, or if it just they were the 10 that were causing problems that needed to go away.
Have you heard in the years since? I know you do not speak the Oathbreaker's name, and I know you were young at the time, but in the years since, has there been anyone that has shown interest in trying to unleash whatever's down there, or has it been left alone?
Oh no, it's been left quite alone. Everyone here knows not to go near there, and if we do, then any excursions are supposed to be temporary.
Right.
What was he after? Why give himself to Pattern Breaker?
That one's easy. And she will just lean back, turn, and look at the redwood in the center of the grove.
You're gonna have to elaborate.
He wanted to kill the spirit that lives here and begin poisoning the area.
That's the goal of Pattern Breaker. Why the wolf turned to it. Very few people walk to Pattern Breaker's madness willingly, and those that do usually get there on steps they think are good, even if they're being deceived.
Said with absolute respect and in no way validating what he who shall not be named was doing or trying to accomplish. Who did what to them? That's a vengeance situation right there from what I'm hearing.
I don't know much of his dealings before becoming Sept leader. He became Sept leader when I was very young.
A storyteller.
Yes.
Did they just infer that there's a spirit living in that redwood right there in the center?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. I'd like to try to sneak off closer to it.
Roll me Dex and Stealth.
I mean, I feel like we
It would
kind
be
of
6.
just already got permission to do this, so it's fine.
Dex and stealth. Dex. Do I have stealth? I feel like I do. We'll see. What's my difficulty?
6.
6. All right. And then how do I transform again? That's 3 successes.
Stamina and Primal Urge.
Stamina and primal.
Or if, you
Or
don't wanna
if-
make, or if you don't want to make a roll, you can just spend a rage.
Yes.
And it's difficulty 7.
6.
Correct.
6.
Is it 7?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
It's 6 if you're not in
I'm gonna spread in the rage.
No. When you botch, you can't change.
Yeah,
Just at all.
Yeah, you're,
Yeah,
You
stuck.
can't
yeah.
change for like.
You're stuck for the scene.
yeah.
Okay.
I
This
don't
is-
know if rage can counter that. I'm not certain.
This is gonna be. I'm going to describe this. I'm not going to describe this in detail. I understand it's my trigger, but Clover is going to sneak away, force herself to vomit, and try to sober up very quickly to try to access the spirit in the tree. Speak to it.
Okay.
You like look up, Clover's gone, and then you just hear retching from the clearing over.
Ice Cap sort of turns at the noise, highlighting that even in her old age, those werewolf senses don't dull that much. But looks back to the group.
Mm,
I know he had enemies, dissenters, people who didn't like his position of authority and power, and
I mean, of course. But this isn't this. Killian, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you're talking about the Cairns totem.
yes.
That's not the Shadow Lord tried to undermine me, kind of revenge actions. That's something deep, and that is what did the spirit do to him?
That one. That I know a little more of. As you know, spirits hear things much quicker than we do, and are observant of way more than we give them credit.
Mm-hmm.
Our totem picked up that our sept leader was doing things wrong at first. And at first they did seem like honest mistakes. But eventually, especially once we were caged in the Umbra, from what I've been told, that spirit stripped a lot of power from him. The reason Oathbreaker does not live, aside from advanced age at this point, is that our spirit locked away his ability to shapeshift, which is something, as far as I am aware, that only Gaia herself can do.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Oh,
That sounds like a reaction to his actions already under the worm's influence. I still don't know, or I'm still wondering what walked him down that path.
I mean, that's
that's anybody's guess.
well, more like
He was
In
tiptoeing
my-
the path. He was pushed
Yeah.
into it when it was taken.
Carrie's just
that's
gonna,
the thing about us. The thing about some of us. No, that's the thing about all of us. We, no matter what our intentions, eventually we all slip up. It's our choice to keep to see that and correct, or we can use the dark side, Luke. Like,
My mother was a healer and a theurgent in the sept for a long time, and a proverb that she used to speak often is that all of us are just one wrong move away from walking the spiral.
Wise words. Carrie's gonna look over at Clover and go,
Are we still in the same clearing, or did I have to fuck off to another clearing?
Oh, no, you're still in the same clearing. You just went a ways away.
I went
to
like
throw
behind
off.
the tree to just vomit.
remember, we can head talk too.
Yes.
okay.
We
I
have totem
forgot
phone.
about the head talking. So through through totem phone, Carrie's gonna ask, Clover, you good?
Clover says, I'm experiencing some performance issues. Give me a moment.
Arrow 404 file not found. Got it.
It happens to everyone at some point.
Corax.exe has crashed.
She threw up and is just like trying so hard to like, she's like, breathe it. Oh, breathe it. You know
So
the scene in Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire where you
Yeah.
go, let
Yeah.
go. That's essentially what Clover's doing behind this tree, trying to transform so she can like sober up and tap
Amazing.
into the spirits.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Fantastic.
She's not transformed very much. She's only been a Korax for like a year.
Right. But no, that's literally my people's job, is to make sure y'all don't back up before the normal mistakes of ego or resentment or other such things. Push you tier too far gone and you don't even know you've walked the spiral. Or you don't even know you're halfway there. What I'm saying is, y'all need more Nuisha around here.
That would require Nuisha to be able to be in the same place for any amount of time.
I don't see any other Nuisha here now. I understand there's another one in the city. I'm sure they visit all the time because we are always honored guests to every concept we go to.
I don't know if my microphone picked it up, but my cat just jumped up on the back of my chair and burped.
Double.
It did not, but that's
Fantastic.
great.
Amazing.
Clover's over there, like slowly coming down from her high as she's expelled what she could, and stepped away from the puddle and trying to basically sit and see if she can basically tap into the network of this tree.
Clover, go ahead and give me Wits and Enigmas difficulty 6.
What's an enigma? Let's see. Four successes.
You know that the easiest way to talk to this spirit will be on the other side.
How do I get there again? Siobhan doesn't know. Clover probably does.
Well,
Crossing the gauntlet is a gnosis roll.
Correct.
Gnosis. Okay.
yes, difficulty in this area 3.
Okay. So what's the stat and gnosis, or is it just gnosis?
Yeah, just straight gnosis.
Just straight gnosis.
Okay, oh, girl, you got a lot of that. All right. You said difficulty 3.
3. Due to you are in the middle of a cairn, it is very easy to cross into the gauntlet that way.
Turn my computer work, please. Oh wait, hold on. I done goofied. I know how to use computers.
By the way, I just for reference, everything I'm seeing about spending a rage to change form says at any point. So you may be able to do it even if a bot has prevented you.
Okay.
No, she'll just have performance issues, but she got 6 successes to go into the
Fair.
Umbra.
Yeah. So yeah, you just so Carrie, who's been watching Clover this whole time, sees her like look at the tree, kind of do the canine head tilt thing, but it's a bird head tilt thing, and then just gone. Which to you, that's not. This is not a new experience, but that is an instant marker of, oh, she crossed the gauntlet.
Question: does Totem Phone have roaming charges, or can I contact via the Umbra?
Considering it's coming from a spirit, I believe it crosses the gauntlet.
I believe so.
So yeah,
Um,
Clover just gone. This she's done a lot.
Camera will shift following Clover as you cross the gauntlet. This flash of white and gray and images of Twilight, the time, not the shitty movie and book series,
It's we've already gone over this.
cross through your vision as you step through into a gray landscape. The colors here are mainly just the trees. The ground is gray. It is not decayed by any means, but the grass has no hues. And your attention is drawn after a moment of taking in your surroundings by the giant redwood tree that has stood up to look at you.
Hello.
Two large legs supporting and holding in a pair of arms as the creature leans down. A face forming from the redwood as it leans in to look closer at you. The tree, the part of the tree that is covered with leaves sort of sliding back to mimic hair as it looks down on you.
I am Clover.
Clover, do you have spirit speech?
I have spirit guides. I don't know that I have spirits.
It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I have Voice of the Mimic, which if I've heard it before, I could probably recreate it. No, I have Raven's Gleaning, Morse, and Voice of the Mimic.
It opens its mouth. And you very quickly realize you do not speak the language here, as the sounds that come out of its mouth are not any human noise. It is the sound of rivers crashing into rocks, the sound of trees breaking, fire, the sound of thunder in the distance, and just all of these nature sounds that by themselves are fine, but when condensed into a form of speech are cacophonous and just not perception shattering, but is just on that edge of your senses are vibrating.
Clover kind of and sits down, crisscross applesauce, and just draws a spiral in the grass in front of it, trying to communicate with it about the spiral. And then she then this is we've already talked that Clover speaks in hieroglyphics. Well, she's got her own sign language too, and she's going to do a pinky promise and then a breaking motion.
Roll me wits and empathy difficulty 8, please.
That'll be 8. I'm definitely gonna start putting shit in empathy.
This is a facsimile of a face, not an actual face. So
the 8. Come on, dice. This is Clover. 3 successes.
3 successes. The eyes shift to the spiral and then shift back to you, and there's just this moment that this emotion crosses this thing's face, which is very difficult to read. But what you're getting is that it's understanding what you're saying, but is apprehensive because you've just brought up something extremely traumatic to it.
Clover like signs like a like basically like I know it hurts and be it's just gonna like basically convey I understand it hurts, but I want to help.
There is again that cacophonous noise that comes out of it.
She kind of twitches a little bit.
And the thought crosses your mind that it can understand you, but in order to help, you need to be able to understand it. So you are, there is a boundary of communication that you cannot cross to fulfill your goals.
Okay. She's going to like basically, yeah. And when she realizes she doesn't have to sign, it just can't communicate with her. She's going to go, I'm Clover. I'm a little raven. I mean no harm. I want to help. I understand we don't understand, or you don't, I can't understand you. I want you to be my friend. And part of what I do for my friends is I help them. You are a spirit with somebody who helped me a lot. And I want to pass that on to you. I'm going to learn a lot about this. I'm very good at learning. You don't have to tell me anything, but I want you to know me and my face, and I will be back. I mean no harm. I don't even squish spiders. I put them in a cup and set them outside.
It makes no outward motion. Just the slightest eyebrow raise in acknowledgement of your statements.
I know asking a name is probably moot with our language barrier, but I will help. If there's any way you can communicate to the pack that's around you that we also mean no harm, that would be really great.
Back on Earth. Or I should say on the other side of the gauntlet. Clover has disappeared. So, but Icecap seems to have finished her story and is just kind of looking around at the cairn, taking insights.
So as a question, so wherever Clover is right now, Totem Phone is not going to reach her.
No, it
No,
was.
it will.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totem phone comes from the Umbra because the spirit is maintaining it.
Okay. Thank you for clarification. So Carrie is going to reach out via Totem Phone to Clover and going, you can put me on hold if you need to, but are we making any progress?
I forget I don't speak the language, but I'm safe. We are communicating as best we can.
Clover not have spirit speech?
I don't.
Ah.
I didn't realize I needed that, or I would have taken that instead of.
I know someone here does.
Morse.
Well,
Carrie.
I do.
So I'm just looking, just for mechanics' sake. It's for a new gift. It is that gift's level times 5, and spirit speech is 1, so it would just be 5 experience for that. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
It is my next gift to get because
That is, unless that gift is one of the gifts that is provided as in your list. for your particular type.
Correct. If it's part of your auspice breed, etc. I think it's times 3.
it's times 3 if it's your breed gift or your like
I do not believe
if
in
it
all of them.
matches your stats.
I will look and check and see that.
Okay, so I as a player have another question.
Yes.
So if I have spirit speech and Clover doesn't, is there any way to get the spirit on the phone?
No.
Translation.
No.
It's a long shot.
No. It's worth an ask.
Or
Spirit
like,
speech is a general Korax gift, so it would only cost you 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But while you are thinking of like you're trying to figure out like do I need to cross the Umbra to have this conversation, or can we do it on this side? The phone in your pocket buzzes.
Carrie picks it up.
It is a number that you have not put into your phone yet, but ticks because you have a piece of paper that has this number written on it. As he gave you his and you gave him yours, and you get a message that reads, "Hey, would you be up for drinks tonight?"
What time is it at the current moment?
It's like 1 in the afternoon.
Sorry,
Okay.
who is contacting you?
The guy from the bar.
The guy from
Are
the
you-
bar.
An employee.
I'm sorry, is the fucking worm saying hey you up while you're visiting the werewolf cairn?
No, the worm is not texting me. The guy from the bar is texting me.
Yes.
Not much difference.
The worm isn't texting me. Somebody who works for the worm is. It's completely different. No, they don't follow the evil dictator. They just work for him.
Okay,
He's
Which
also
is-
scared of him.
listen.
Sorry. You're good.
Katie doesn't know this shit.
I know.
You're good. But yeah, you so
It's
you
the idea
have,
of, like, this is the exact moment you don't want, like, the local glass walker to be walking by behind you, like, this guy, oh, who's on your phone?
Yeah, no.
Fortunately, it's just an empty phone number with no name. So
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, no. Shit. Harry is going to text back. Sounds great. I can talk in about an hour in the middle of a meeting right now. Smiley face.
you get back a thumbs up, and that's it.
Puts phone away.
Legitimately the best way that conversation could have gone.
Is any of it a lie?
No, not really.
In the middle of a meeting. And I need to be able to see if there's any, and I want to leave.
To be fair, you are on a conference call.
Yeah.
I am on a conference call. Dude doesn't need to know that. But whose name I completely forgot. What's his face? But Carrie also wants to leave the possibility open. It's like whatever we find out here,
Yep. Oh,
I
absolutely.
could potentially, leverage into a later conversation. So let's keep our options open.
over the totem phone, because I believe totem phone is just generally everyone in the
Correct.
in
Yep.
the pack can hear it. The menagerie.
Yeah.
But doing like very private and emotional conversations over totem phone to one other person in the pack is not recommended. Just
No.
throwing that out there for
Yeah.
anybody who might have
Everybody
any
will hear it.
deep-seated love connections that they wanted to throw out there.
God damn it.
I mean,
I
you-
can't. I can't whisper sweet nothings to Callisto across the Umbra.
I mean, you could.
You could.
would
We
just
just all
have an
have to keep
audience.
it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Unfortunately, there
things.
are
I'm
no
not sure
private
she's
chat
into
rooms
voyeurism.
in. Unfortunately, there are no private chat rooms that you can go into with totem phone.
Just send it paper airplanes, okay?
But yeah,
don't
over
even-
over the totem
Note
phone,
for you, that's the kink.
over the totem phone, Callisto will communicate. If you want to try and communicate with that spirit, you're probably going to have to cross over yourself. I don't know how well Clover can do the mimicry thing for inconsequential noise that makes no sense to anyone without spirit speech.
Well, also, we already have permission from the set to talk to them. I'm assuming they're going to provide it. So yeah, whether they provide a translator or not, we have one. But frankly, I think we should take their translator because then Carrie gets to listen and see how honest the translation is.
Okay. So do I need to cross over too?
Nope, let's wait until we're done with this conversation, and then we ask to speak to the totem spirit, the set totem, and we do it all nice and official like.
Okay.
Speaking of which, over the totem phone, and then out loud because Ice Cap has finished their
Right.
their recollection. Callisto will say, "Thank you, Ice Cap, for sharing your history with us."
Yeah,
And
thanks.
then she'll look over at Doom in the Mountains. May we have that audience with the Cairn spirits?
Of course. Do any of you able to speak with them? Or
We
You'll
could
take- you'll
use
take
a
translator
go-between.
If you got one.
He just looks at Doom's Howl, who just kind of hangs his head. Sure. I can, or you don't. Sure you don't. And he just points to the redhead who's still laying in Icebreaker's lap. And she sort of sits up. I can definitely be a translator if that's what's needed.
Sorry, who is this?
Blossoming Dancer. The one of the members of
Oh,
the pack. She's the theurge who's specifically sent for Doom in the Mountains via bird calling. But she,
I mean, whoever works.
It
I'm not picky.
would be happy to have your translation as well. Mine might be a little bit rusty.
of course, she takes a couple of steps closer to everybody and then grows a couple extra feet as dark orange hair bursts from her skin and starts covering her whole body as fairly muscular compared to her. I mean, obviously with the Krynos form, but Blossoming Dancer is a waif in the classic definition. A stiff wind could knock her over. She is stacked muscle-wise in her Krynos form, which is a sharp contrast to the actual lupus form she would take as all of her limbs start going from that dark orange to a darker brown and then into black. And she is a maned wolf. And since they're usually long and gangly, the image is slightly different than one might expect. But she just looks to your pack and says, Are you all crossing, or is it just one of you?
More the merrier.
Okay. And she pauses. I heard one of you is a cat.
Connor may have to stay here. In fact, it might be better if both of us do, just to keep an eye on things.
Okay.
So it'll be myself and
I
still Callisto and Connor can stay.
And you see her actively look around, and she, I haven't done it effects wise, but her voice has become much deeper and gravelly, but still has this sort of sing-songy cadence as she talks.
Right.
Where's the tiny one?
Oh, over there.
Behind the
Oh,
tree.
she already crossed.
Yeah.
Probably.
She's crossed already.
She tends to pace ahead of us on a lot of things. So, it's fine. It almost never causes problems.
Almost.
Let's keep it there.
Okay. Well, if you will all follow me, and she steps across. And she just blinks out of existence to the two of you.
Yep. Let's do it.
I need a gnosis roll, difficulty 6. Was it 6? I think I said 6.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it
you
was
said
for me.
3 previously.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we're in a
We're in a Karen, yeah.
A what roll?
Oh, 3.
no, straight gnosis.
One of us can,
It's under
because
your
we are a
range.
pack,
It's under what?
It's under your rage.
Rage.
because we are a totem, or a group under a totem, one of us can open it for everybody. Should be able to. I don't know if that's going to apply for us, because we're not quite a pack, but we kind of are, but
I don't see anything for rage.
It's under, if you go to your advantages tab.
Oh, okay, hold up. Gnosis. Okay.
what's your gnosis?
6.
Oh, fucking roll the dice and open this up. I've got 3.
Yeah. As
I have
I was going to
5.
say, Clover got 6 successes. Could I have left it open for you?
It's not.
No.
It's not a door so much as a teleportation, and basically, if you're in a pack, you can ride the coattails of it.
Gotcha.
It's
Oh,
like slipping through a very thin
Essentially,
sheet
like-
of jello.
Like doing like drag. Like
Yeah.
where you're like in the
Yeah.
drag after a boat and it's less.
Modification 3.
No,
Yes.
it'd be mod
No,
0,
difficulty
Zero.
3.
difficulty 3.
difficulty 3.
Okay.
Full mod 0, difficulty 3.
Got it. Okay.
That's what I was messing up with.
I didn't see
That's
two.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloop.
Crystal, you just you can see it about to happen. Just reach out and grab her wrist, and
Yep.
you're in the Umbra. And you two are both greeted by that towering. If you had to guess, probably anywhere between 250 to 300 foot tall spirit standing in front of you.
And because I would say this is probably counting as a scene transition, back in the real world, as that ripple in the gauntlet carries the two of them away with the gnosis, it also seems to carry away the spirits that had been surrounding and influencing Callisto, and she just kind of like inhales, exhales with a bit of a shudder. And then just sort of looks around at the wolves that are the only thing that she's still got around her, and Connor. Now we wait.
Clover is laying on her stomach with her feet kicked up in the air, drawing things in the grass for the spirit.
Clover's having tummy time.
She's having tummy time. Very important for her neck development.
You're a biggin.
And Clover just kind of looks over and goes, "Oh, hello. I was telling them stories. I read a lot."
Nice.
Crystal, there is a cacophonous amount of noise that is It is loud and. Have you ever been to I mean, when you go to a concert and you stand right by the speakers,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
your bones in your head are shaking? That is what is happening when this thing talks.
I am familiar with that in theory. Here's a fun fact about me. I've been to one concert in my life.
Oh,
Really
Yep.
interesting.
And
So-
Clover goes, "You get used to it. It's
So-
light mode."
So, but since Carrie has
yes.
spirit speak,
So-
what does
Can
she-
one of you? Can one of them talk to me? Is what you hear as Blossoming Dancer gives a soft nod.
And Carrie just raises her hand. Hi, I can.
Oh, thank Gaia. Your friend here has been regaling me with tales.
Yeah, she's.
I am not entirely certain what lasagna or Mondays are, but something seems to hate them. And please tell me what you've come to ask.
Carrie, when you look over, you do see imprinted in the grass a perfectly drawn Garfield.
Amazing.
Like Carrie via Carrie is just like gonna look at it. It's like do one of those. And she's like, not right now.
If we got more important things,
And-
focus.
And I fucking forgot what we're
Not my aviary, not my raven.
yeah. I mean, that is my aviary and that is my raven, but
Memo to me, name you after my meeting.
but God, what were you supposed to be asking this thing?
We want to know anything else there is to know about what's buried in the
that's right.
in the wilderness. Listen, I'm going through Totem Phone. I'm going to say, listen. The wolves aren't going to talk about the Oathbreaker, but anything we can get about this motherfucker is going to be useful,
Okay.
including name if the totem spirit knows it.
Okay. So Carrie is going to refocus on the spirit and say, we are looking for the answers to a few questions. The first being, what is contained in the seal underneath the lake? Additionally, the wolves do
Pyramid
not.
Hill Lake.
The what lake?
Was it Pyramid Hill? Was the name of the location?
Pyramid Peak.
Hill.
Pyramid
Pyramid
Peak.
Peak. We would like to know what is sealed underneath Pyramid Peak Lake. We would also like to know the name of the person who put it there. And we know we know they have been called Oathbreaker, but if we could have a name, that would help us greatly. Do
And
you
you
have
know
that?
anything else of value about him.
Yeah,
Also
any-
about the seal and what's required to break it. If
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah,
Oh,
is
okay.
it just living things? Is it just Guru? Is it one Bonar Ragabash and one Naga and one
Yeah, what's the
Okay.
composition of that seal?
So Carrie,
Red Talon kinfolk who was spayed? Like,
Carrie just looks like she's going to punch you in the face if you keep talking.
and the whole time I'm just quietly like, because this is all mental.
So,
Like, are we with the beatific smile?
because I feel like that person that's in the driver's seat at the drive-through, and like I've told everybody to give me their order, and then like there's all three motherfuckers just like I want extra fries, I don't want cheese. Like, you're gonna fucking get what you're gonna get.
Welcome to Team Mom, Carrie. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not.
It's usually me. I'm really glad it's not this time.
I
Callisto would be that parent that would drive up to the McDonald's
cannot-
drive-through and order a single black coffee.
drive off. So Carrie is going to resume and refocus, and say, we want to know the name of the Oathbreaker. We want to know what is buried underneath Pyramid Point Lake. We would like to know any information about Oathbreaker that you can possibly give us, and what is needed to break the seal of the creature that is hiding beneath the lake.
It takes a moment to think.
Take your time. Ish.
Are you familiar with how familiar are you with the stories passed down by the Garu?
I have a passing knowledge of them.
As for what is sealed beneath that lake, does the word Hellbringer mean anything to you? And that's where we're going to go to break. Remember, when we take our break, you take yours. So stand up, stretch your legs, walk around, do whatever you need to. And we will be back in just a few minutes after these commercial messages.
And we're back.
We're back. Just that, we're back.
A leprechaun story. But not those leprechauns.
Not the other ones.
'Cause fuck Nazis.
I
That is a
was
sentiment I can
emotionally
almost get behind.
traumatized by one of the Leprechaun movies back when I was a child.
That tracks.
Was
Yeah.
a leprechaun in the hood?
I can't
So-
remember which one it was, but it terrified me.
The leprechaun in space.
The
Anyways, we're talking to a spirit.
yes, the
Yeah.
Redwood spirit has just asked you if the word Hellbringer means anything to you.
I mean,
Which, if you would like, you can roll me wits and what's an occult difficulty 9.
okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
gonna.
no. Always roll. There's always a chance of success.
Ah, shit.
Telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, no.
Somebody do me a favor and check and see if we're still streaming. I think we are, but I did accidentally close out a whole bank of Chrome windows.
Let me check.
I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
are because I think it's only YouTube that is that kind of bitchy about it.
Yes, we're still up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So 0 successes. So Carrie is going to say,
Just a sec. Where's that? Oh, no, that is 9. 1.
Okay.
so Carrie is going to say, specifically, I don't know what specifically you're talking about, but I can infer that probably not sunshine and rainbows.
You should say the name out loud to Clover because I might know.
And Crystal.
So,
Yeah.
What does
The word Hellbringer, is that what it was?
Mhm.
Hey, Clover and Crystal, does Hellbringer mean anything to you?
one
Uh,
success? Does Hellbringer
one
mean
success.
anything?
Is it wits intelligent or wits
What's an
occult,
occult?
What's
or
an
is it
occult?
intelligence occult for me?
What's an occult?
Wits
What's is generally my trying to remember a thing.
difficulty 9.
Yeah.
My specialization is in shapeshifters.
No.
No. Okay. Alright.
Banes are unfortunately not shaped.
3
Still
successes.
3 successes.
Fuck you, I
Crystal.
know shit.
The first thing that goes through your mind is that's not sunshine and rainbows. So obviously that's not a good thing.
I'm gonna let me say that the Hellbringer is bad.
You don't know where you heard it, but it is that is a capital, not like that is a capital H, not a lowercase h. So that is not a classification of Bane. That is a name.
Name of a
Bane.
bane.
A proper noun, yeah.
Clover.
Does he have pins in his?
Okay.
Hellraiser.
You're kind of concerned when that name comes out because what little you do know of that creature, you know that it should not be on this continent because that is a Viking spirit, or it at least popped up in the Nordic areas first.
Just kind of like she's still tummy timing, and then all of a sudden you look over and Clover's sitting again, crisscross applesauce, and it's just like that shouldn't be here. Like I'm here. Well, not here, but there. where we were. That should be very far away. Ask it if
What? Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie's gonna turn around and say, "We have very little knowledge of this. Can you give us more details, please?"
Hellbringer is known by other names. But Hellbringer is not a. There's someone over Hellbringer. Hellbringer is a general.
Okay,
For the armies of the war.
got it.
It serves a being known as Beast of War.
Okay.
That's a name that I, as a player, recognize.
Yep.
So, Carrie is going to relay to Crystal and Clover. It's said that Hellbringer is a general of the army of why don't I want to say army of darkness?
Army of the Worm.
Army of the Worm. Army of the Worm. But it is controlled by something known as Beast of War, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's
fuck me.
Known as Beast of War.
Everybody can give me a wits and occult roll, difficulty 5. You all were raised in. I mean, a lot of you have knowledge about the worm and the wild and the weeper. So, okay.
Fuck me.
Beast of War is one of the 3 heads of the worm.
Yep.
There are 3 beings that run the worm. And that is Beast of War, the worm of calamity, Eater of Souls, the worm of consumption, and the Defiler worm, which is the worm of corruption. These 3 work in concert to destroy the wild.
Sorry, this guy, Hellbringer, is Beast of War's general, did you say?
Yes. In the armies of the worm.
Oh, dope.
Listen, don't shoot the messenger.
What do I get with 5 successes?
With 5 successes, you know that it does not just serve Beast of War. There are the 3 main heads of the worm, and there are lower heads of the worm. So the other name that you get is Baashkai, which I will drop in the Slack chat for everyone.
And we're thinking werewolf likes 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Clover just whispers Bashkai. What do I know about that?
It's known that Hellbringer itself. Another fact that you know is that it also, while not being a full one, that has the power of an incarna.
So, okay.
I'm not shooting the messenger. Trust me, babe. If I was gonna shoot the messenger, my gun would already be out. I believe in literalism.
Good to know.
So yes,
Okay. Any other? Okay, so so that's what you're saying is locked or sealed underneath the the Pyramid Point Lake.
yes.
Okay.
Definitely can't let that out.
Do you know how the seal is unbroken?
10 souls violently taken.
Just like, do they have to be? They can be any 10 souls, and do they have to be shifters? Do they have to be?
A tie to Gaia provides extra
Oh shit!
power, which means the 10 Garu souls that were used to lock it away are one of the strongest locks that could have been formed. But every lock breaks with the key.
That's the key.
And the key. So Carrie's going to relay this information, and Crystal's going to ask, "What is the key?" So, what is the key to unlock? If sealing it took 10 souls violently taken, the key would be what? To open it would be what?
Oh, 10 souls violently taken again.
Do
Okay,
this.
same
Oh.
same answer. 10 souls violently taken again.
Do the souls have to be taken at the point of the seal, or is it they can just be killed randomly to unlock said seal? Like, is there a ritual?
Do they have to be killed? Is it just 10 random killings, or do they have to be killed at the time of the unbreaking of the seal?
They have to be equal power to.
Souls must be taken within a certain amount of time, within the same location.
The souls must be taken within a certain amount of time in the same location.
As where they were taken before, just where the
I'm guessing wherever you're trying to unlock.
Yes.
Okay.
Metagaming Pigeon, you should figure out if Pyramid Point Lake is on your drill site person's.
Yeah, I will.
Map.
I will. Carrie will keep that in mind. Thank you for answering our questions about that. Can you tell us anything about Oathbreaker, a name?
do we know if they're dead?
Oathbreaker no longer walks this world.
That is not what I said. The Umbra is a place.
It does so. Oathbreaker no longer walks the earth. Do they haunt the Umbra?
Oh no, you're in the Umbra.
Do they haunt the
So
whatever the thing?
But we're
they-
already here, so he's saying does not walk this world. We're already in the Umbra.
Do they work? So they don't walk the Umbra? Do they walk the earth?
no, not anymore.
I
Okay.
don't. Or I get. Sorry, I'm using other terms. Dark Umbra.
Dark Umbra.
There is no response given.
Radio silence.
Okay.
Do you have a name?
Their deed name was Crashing Wave.
Crashing.
Crashing Wave. Do you
All right, was that Crashing Wave or Crashing Branch?
Wave.
Crashing Wave. Okay.
I understand that was uh, um, their pack name? Did they have a human name?
When they were born with 4 legs, not 2.
Oh, thank you.
Ask the totem. Do they have any still living? I mean, if they're lupus, it's probably less likely. But family, loved ones,
Do
that
they-
sort of thing. Because
Do they have any familial connections that are still alive on Earth?
friends
In
who
the-
disavow them, that sort of thing.
In the time that I knew Oathbreaker, he did not take romantic partners. However, I am acutely aware there was a pup made.
Is the pup still living?
No. Thankfully, however, it's children.
Its
Yes.
children are living?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Not in this sept, far away.
How far?
They
In
were
what
given to
direction?
another sept.
Harry is starting to get a few ideas. Okay, any further questions before we cut this connection?
They know which sept.
Do you know which sept they were given to?
Sept of the Pointing Stars.
That answers that question.
I know. Okay, yeah, I figured as much. The Sept of the Pointing Stars. Sound familiar?
There is a pleasant smile and a strangled sound coming from behind that smile.
Are you screaming inside your head? Because I'm like,
No, I'm screaming behind my teeth. Only because it would be rude of me to headbutt a tree right now in the presence of this spirit.
okay. Spirit, we thank you for your help. We thank you for your guidance.
If you attempt to break the lock, I will know.
That is not our intention.
Good.
Our hope is
Because the full force of my sept would be upon you.
I understand. Our goal is to make sure that doesn't happen.
Find the pups. Get your answers.
We have a pretty good idea, but thank you. Thank you for your guidance, and we will endeavor to protect your sept. I wish I could make a more succinct and more concrete promise. But that is to the best of my intentions. And Carrie's just gonna nod, like not quite a bow, but just like a nod of respect, and kind of do the let's go head to the others.
I look up at the tree and go,
Clover digs around in her bag for just a second and pulls out a cut comic strip of Garfield and hands it to the tree.
Clover?
There is a look that crosses the tree's face. You're not. This has nothing to do with the comic strip, but as it looks at you just before you guys are about to leave, and it says, "When the moon drips blood, seal will be broken, and the armies will move forth, taking everything from the wild."
Jupiter aligns with Mars, etc., etc., etc.
Harry's gonna look over at Clover and go, "Did you get that?"
Moon drips blood is a thing that we know.
I
I mean, maybe I don't know if characters know player knowledge.
I didn't catch that. What did they say?
When the moon drips blood,
The seal will be broken.
yeah,
And
and the armies will be ready to march, and the opposite of what happens in the Age of Aquarius song. This is like the anti-hair.
Clover's gonna look.
Hair if it was written by Charles Manson.
There's a moment where you see Clover making a connection to something, but she doesn't say it. There's something that she's heard that is clicking.
Yeah.
But you basically see her go ping, there's a connection, put a pin in it, and she's
But
Carrie would know this face as, I'm going to call Percy when I get out of here.
Note to
And-
self.
You all cross back over the gauntlet.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, Callisto,
yep,
you are alone with Connor and the pack
bunch of werewolves.
and a bunch of werewolves.
there's no way this can go wrong.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna come back
You
and
don't-
see the whole sept is just dead.
You don't need to roll wits and empathy to figure out Black Blood has not stopped this predatory gazing, and honestly, her pacing is circular in path.
Callisto has the moment that the spirits left her, but as she just sort of keeps an eye on that circular path, she'll look over to Doom of the Mountain. Is your pup gonna be a problem? Do we need to settle this with fists?
He sits up a little bit straighter. If you come to blows in my cairn, I will be forced to intervene. The last two Gauru I had to do that for do not walk this side anymore.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not a guru.
Go ahead and give me perception alertness difficulty 8, please.
Perception alertness. Two.
You hear just on the edge of your attention. So I have to look up pack member names again. As Twin Rivers gets up and or has gotten up and has approached Blackblood, and there is a small discussion between the two. And the thing that you hear is, if you attack her, we have to go with what Doom of the Mountain says. If you become a problem, we will have to handle you. Do not make me fight my packmate. And there is no response from Blackblood, save that continued pacing and staring. There are no words, I should say. The growl that emanates from her throat is enough.
There's just sort of a sidelong glance, this sort of like tired over the shoulder at Blackblood, this sort of one eye look. You don't get to claim the high ground here.
There's a flurry of movement as Blackblood shifts and moves forward. As she does, there is the sound of another transformation happening as a large gray wolf tackles her to the ground.
Callisto hasn't moved from her spot.
And you see him pin her solely because she wasn't expecting it. He caught her completely off guard, but he has her pinned by her shoulders and is just staring into her eyes as the two of them are locked. And eventually, after about a minute, she just reaches up, puts a hand on the side of his face, and rolls him to the side like nothing, as he tumbles a few paces and crashes into one of the redwood trees.
She turns her head over and looks over at Doom of the Mountain. Am I allowed to defend myself here?
I would... Yes.
She doesn't move. She just gets that acknowledgement and waits to see what Blackblood does.
And Blackblood is still in Krynos form and just begins approaching you. And she gets about 10 feet away from you. And Icebreaker steps in between the two of you and just puts a paw on her midsection. Not really like chest able to reach. And just... I understand you have a blood feud, or whatever is going on in your head, or your genes, whatever. Handle this fight when we are not talking about something that could potentially end all of Garou kind, please. I know you are blinded by rage, but I need you to see the bigger picture here.
While that conversation is going on, she turns her head back to Doom of the Mountains. There are a lot of lakes on Pyramid Peak. Are we talking Pyramid Lake?
Yes.
All right.
I had heard stories that your representatives in the area were making such a. I'm surprised to see multiples of the same Pharaoh. And honestly surprised to see you all working together so well in concert.
Some of us remember what it was like, by force or otherwise, when all worked under Gaia in concert. I don't need to remind you why that changed. I get that reminder every night, so you'll forgive my curtness.
You're one of the dream cursed.
I live the fight she has a grudge over most nights. In fact, it was last night. I'm a little short-tempered.
Blackblood, you're relieved from your duties. Get out of the cairn. When these 5 leave, you can return. There is the briefest face of rebellion across that flashes across the muzzle, and it very quickly dies as she shifts into lupus form and just runs into the woods. And looking back at Doom of the Mountains, you're not sure what he's doing or what has happened, but looking at him has become hard for a second. It's like the force of his personality or whatever is just, you're like an ant in front of a disco ball with this. It's a lot, and you're not sure if that's his position as a sept leader, as a Gauru who's been around for a long time. You're not sure what it is, but whatever he just emanated at her, the reason she turned is because she couldn't say no.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just that slight feeling that if this man were to give you directions or a command at the current moment, it would take active thought to not follow through with what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
There, you should at least feel more comfortable for the time being.
A little. You'll forgive if I'm still not on polite speaking terms, considering what I lived through last night.
No, of course not. And honestly, if you two want to settle your fight outside of the bounds of my cairn, I don't care. But not within these 6 redwoods.
Fair enough.
And it's almost comedic timing, as you see. You're not sure where they came from, but you see a small child, probably the age of anywhere between 4 to 6, just running and giggling with 2 wolves that just sort of almost like immediately behind Doom of the Mountains, running to a different part of the cairn. And you get that he doesn't care. He doesn't care if the 2 of you kill each other. By all means, that's the way things go. But do it away from the children. Is what you're getting out of this.
Fair enough. There are places I wouldn't tolerate that kind of intrusion as well.
This is a home before anything else.
That I can respect, if nothing else.
I try to take care of everyone who walks in.
I know that feeling.
I think I've heard tales of you.
Possibly.
The Lady of Greenwood. The Maiden Mother of the Forest. Protector of the Defiled.
Most people call me Bear Mom.
Fitting. Even outside of your circumstances from Gaia, it just fits you. Do you intend to fight her?
Not if she doesn't fight me.
Yes.
That's a sentiment I can understand.
If she comes at me thinking that her ancestors' attempt to murder mine warrants her attempt to kill me, I will put her in the dirt where she belongs. I have no intent of killing her, but I will show her that she is not on top.
These are all fair statements. Gaia would not have put you here in this scenario to meet her after your dreams if there were not something. And that is the thing that makes me trust you and your group. You would not be in my presence if Gaia had not commanded it.
We can all listen to the lessons of the mother. Some are a little slower at it.
It looks like he's about to say something in response to that. But when he does, when he goes to open his mouth, that Krynos, main wolf, just walks into the clearing out of nowhere. And then followed by the other three members of your pack menagerie, whatever you want to call it.
Clover does a cartwheel.
Nice.
Welcome back.
So this was done. This was fun. It's always good to meet. It's always good to meet local brother wolves. We should go.
Not to put too fine a point on it. Thank you for your time. We will be in touch if needed. Thank you for the lines of communication. As for the rest of you, and she looks around to her group, we have much to discuss. So why don't we take our leave?
Clover goes up to Icebreaker and goes, I'm trying to be more cognizant of touching people when they want me to. Can I give you a hug goodbye?
You don't have to ask. You can have that anytime you want, Featherbrain. And he reaches down and gives you a hug.
Harry's just gonna look over. It's like, can I use that one? That's a great one.
And she'll give
By all means.
these and then skip over to the menagerie.
Who was the guy that I walked in with?
Twin Rivers.
Twin Rivers.
Okay. So, okay, yeah. Cool, perfect. I hop on his back. You're piggybacking riding me. You're giving me a ride all the way back, right?
You feel him. He doesn't respond, but he just squeezes your legs tighter and then goes into Krynos form.
Best day ever.
Carrie is just gonna shake her head like it's like so proud of Clover. Crystal. Work in progress.
You all make your way back to the cars. It's a slower walk out than it was in. But Twin Rivers deposits Crystal and then says his goodbyes and walks off back into the forest.
Harry's gonna look
Yep.
over at Crystal like, do you need a minute before you start driving, or are you good to go? Or
No, I'm fine.
okay, all right.
We are not walking quickly enough. We need to walk.
Okay.
You can fill me in over the totem phone if you feel like while we get out of here.
Cool. How are you doing?
Better than I was 20 minutes ago.
Well, hang on to that feeling.
That is a blithely encouraging and not at all informative statement that tries to avoid answering the question. You're spending too much time with the wolves.
She's always been like that. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, she's obviously spending too much time with the wolves.
Right.
Do you not see it?
They're a bad influence on you.
You're right. I do see them every single time in my dreams when they're trying to kill me.
See, bad
See,
influence.
now you are deflecting into, oh, look how awful and tortured my noble life is. You are spending too much time with the wolves.
Is your life goal just to get punched in the face?
Let's go.
She's doing a real bad job of it if it is. I'm more amused
if I
than
thought-
annoyed.
Hey,
It's
If
not my
I
goal,
thought
it's
I
just
was
an
get
unfortunate side
punched
effect.
in the face, listen.
Harry looks
If
over
I-
at Callisto. I'm like, I wasn't talking about you.
If I was trying to get punched in the face by Callisto, I already know, like, hold on, 19 things I could say. I'm not going to say them because I don't want to get punched in the face.
Such an oddly specific number.
And a very
Let's
odd.
go. You're fine. No one's dead that I know of, and I am okay with plausible deniability. So let's get in the vans and let's drive the fuck out of here.
No one's dead yet.
I choose to believe that.
Well, Clover's like already in the car, like right.
Yeah.
She's already in the truck. She's already got her phone connected, and
Callisto climbs up into the truck.
it is playing. Oh, what do we feel like today? It is currently playing Hot to Go,
Fantastic.
and she's
I
just
would expect
like
nothing
when you
less.
look over to the car while y'all are all having this argument. Clover's just in the car going.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
That's what you come into your vehicle doing, Callisto.
Callisto sits down. Having fun?
Always. As much fun as one can have when you learn that the thing sealed is not good. It's very bad.
I can only imagine.
There's something immediately under one of the heads of the and it's going to take killing people to open it back up.
Well, one of Pattern Breaker's big dangerous things is locked up under the lake. We should probably make sure it stays that way.
I suppose we should, well, go see it. Make sure no one's trying anything.
I know the way to the lake. If we're heading that way now, I can drive us to the nearest park.
As
We
the,
heading that way now? She asked over the totem phone.
as the bitchmobile starts up, Mr. Mister's broken wings
Yeah.
at max volume.
Yes.
No, we should. No, honestly, I don't think we should go. I think we've probably attracted attention from people. And even if we haven't, there is a slight chance. I think we should stay the fuck away from where the lock is, at least for now. And do some more looking into other information that we have. Such as, I don't know, the fact that our Oathbreaker had a kid who ended up at the same sept where our current
Grandkids, specifically for reference. The grandkids ended up at that sept.
Yeah,
So,
she says kids just because.
Yeah.
Where our ended up at the same sept where our good friend Dimitri came from. There's
yeah,
no way. There is legitimately no way that's a
no way
coincidence.
that's a coincidence.
No,
yeah,
not
no,
at all.
I put
I would be
I'm-
shocked. I know that Lupus and kin that way, but I would be shocked if there is no bloodline connection between them in some way.
I'm
I don't
glad
know
you,
about a bloodline connection, but definitely at least a spiritual one, considering the guy that is Dimitri came from up north.
Here's how it
Makes sense.
works. Oathbreaker has a kid that's a wolf. Grandkid gets sent up to Seattle. Grandkid mates with a guru, which ends up coming out Hamid through the guru, and that's Dimitri. It absolutely can happen.
I'm glad you put 2 and 2 together. Because that's the first thing. As soon as they said that sept name,
Granted, I wouldn't say it's 100%. It's 100%. It has to be the case.
That's a long
Jared-
line to go up and come back.
well,
down.
I wasn't saying about the line. I was saying the 2 being connected. I can't tell you the bloodlines of the whole thing, but I can tell you it's no damn coincidence that
Yeah.
it's as close
Well,
as it is.
One of two things.
Whether Dimitri is one of those kids or not, there's definitely an intentional connection.
Yeah, Dimitri was either Jared was is either like a great grandkid, which is especially possible because since it was a lupus line, we probably have a lot more generations to worry about. Or was real good friends with with a guru or a kin that came out of that.
Yeah, like I said, way too much of a coincidence for it to be anything.
So I don't want to go. Well, no, that's not true. I do want to go to Seattle. It's really nice this time of year. And currently we're in fucking Sacramento. But I think it's worth chasing down that lead. I don't know if we all need to go.
That's
I was
okay.
about to say, is it worth going to the Sept of the Fallen Stars?
Well, how many of you can speak to wolves? Like wolves. They're lupine, right?
Fair point. I would. Yeah, whether we need to go up there or not is. It wouldn't be a bad idea.
It would not be a bad idea, but let's put that, as the saying goes, let's put a pin in that for right now and keep it on the list of possibilities. But let's see what we can do around here first, because if we do need to make a trip, we need to make sure we're getting the most possible out of that trip.
Do we need to finally fucking go in or go do some actual recon of Endron? Is it time for that?
Well,
You got a text earlier. What was that about?
oh, the guy I met at the guy I met at the bar, we exchanged numbers and he asked me out for drinks. The guy that does the digging site, that's in charge of the digging sites for Endron.
Might be about time to stop pushing that advantage.
You have a date with the worm?
Reconnaissance.
I have a reconnaissance mission
A date?
for reconnaissance. This
In
is,
the form of a date.
Also a date with
Oh,
a flunky.
yes. well,
I believe they call it the honeypot.
Uh-huh.
again, it's a reconnaissance tactic. You can call it a date. I am calling it what it actually is.
I'm sorry, have you ever had a date that was not reconnaissance? Because that's what I call dates.
Let me backtrack. The purpose of this date is actual reconnaissance. I don't want this to go anywhere. I just want information.
And with that, that's where we're going to end for the evening. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.